What's up everyone, it's your boy Rash Balash back with another video, and today we have another tech dash for the FiFine T732. After my last microphone review, a lot of people were asking me about accessories such as like a mic arm that they can use for their desk setup. So with this FiFine microphone, I think you'll find the perfect sweet spot between accessories and sound quality for a really good price. So thank you to FiFine for sending me this microphone and sponsoring this video, and let's hop right in and I'll show you everything we got.
I'm about to play Smash, trying to get some cash. I'm gonna get a rash. Hey, it's Rash Balash.
Okay, so before we actually hop into the sound test for the microphone, I want to walk you guys through everything that's coming in the box, because when you get this, you're going to see that there's a lot of different accessories that you're getting. And through all these different accessories, there's a lot of different variations that you can set your microphone up in. So let's actually go through all of that right now. Okay, so as you can see, there's a ton of different accessories available for this microphone. And this is everything that it comes with. So first up, you have the C-clamp, which you use to mount your microphone arm stand. And the C-clamp supports desks that are up to 2 inches, and the way that you use it is you loosen the screw that's down here at the bottom. Then wherever you want to place it on your desk, you just slide it in and then tighten that screw to make sure that it's securely attached to your desk. You don't want it sliding off or anything. What's also nice is that up here at the top, where it grips to the top of your desk, is a rubber grip. C-clamps that I've had previously actually use a felt pad, which has actually ended terribly for the desk itself because it leaves a lot of residue and the felt pad just falls apart. This is not the case here. This rubber pad is actually a great improvement from those sort of C-clamps. Next up, we have the microphone arm itself. So it's a aluminum arm. As you can see, there's a couple springs here that are used to make sure that the arm stays wherever you place it. So it just creates some tension. These springs are nice and tight and work really well. There's also a couple of knobs to tighten the arm into the position that you want it. So as you can see, there's one here in the middle where it pivots, and there's one here towards the end of the microphone arm where the microphone connects to. These are made out of plastic, but they actually feel really great. They don't feel cheap or anything. So that's just a nice benefit. As you can see, there's 2 ends to this. One is this silver end, which is where the microphone attaches to, and then another is this continued matte black end, which slides into the C-clamp. So those are those 2 pieces that will be working together. Next up, you have the pop filter. So I think this is a standard size for pop filters. To me, I've never had something like this, so it seems kind of big, but you know, it works really well. The clamp itself is made out of metal. The arm for it is really flexible, but also really sturdy. So it works really well and it stays in the position that you set it to. Then you have the pop filter itself, which is made out of fabric, but it also feels like really good quality. So, you know, I'm not worried about it breaking or anything. And then down here at the bottom is where it grips to the microphone arm. And so as you can see, it's sort of in the shape of a 90-degree angle. And then there is the tightener, which grips it down to the microphone arm. And so using these 2 together, it basically forms a perfect square to fit to the shape of the microphone stand itself. Next up, we have the shock mount. So the shock mount to me was actually really good. It does its job really well. There's going to be an audio test for this that you guys will see, testing with and without it, to see if it actually does its job. It's made out of plastic, but it feels very sturdy in the hand. And there's these 2 rubber strings here that you can replace. There's extra black ones in the box that come with it. So if you don't like the red, you can actually switch it over to that black rubber strings. Right here is where the microphone slides into. So you squeeze these clamps and the microphone will slide in. There's a nice pad inside that will hold the microphone well in there, and the clamp is also very tight. So you don't have to worry about your microphone sliding around or anything, creating some noise. And also something important to note is that there is a little knob so you can adjust the angle of the microphone shock mount so that you can get the angle of the microphone that you want it to be in. Okay, so next up we have the desk stand. So the desk stand, it's a standard desk stand. It has 3 legs that pop into place wherever you want it. It's actually perfect for this microphone in terms that whichever angle I put the microphone in, it doesn't fall over or anything. It's pretty sturdy. The feet spread pretty wide out. However, in this case, since you are getting the microphone arm stand with this whole entire microphone, I have to say that you get way more freedom using that microphone arm, so I'd totally recommend using that if you're getting this. Next up, you have the windscreen cap. So this is usually used when you have a lot of wind around, so it's usually something that you're going to use when you're outside or something. But if you're in a room that has a fan or air conditioning like me that is blowing directly at it, then this is actually going to come in handy for reducing the amount of noise that might be picked up from that. So I do actually use it with my microphone. Then we have the USB cable. So this is actually a 2.5 meter cable, and it's actually really long, which is great because what you can do with this is, one, I mean, it can reach really far places. So if you're not using the microphone right next to your computer, you can reach to your computer wherever you might be. But also what I use this personally for is I have the cable run along the arm of the microphone stand, and then that way it reduces the clutter of any cables on my desk, and it looks really nice. And you can use cable ties or zip ties or these fabric Velcro straps to just tighten it to the microphone arm stand itself, and then just run it along it, and it runs right to the bottom of my desk and then back up into my computer. It's actually really great, and I recommend using it. Second to last, we have the 3/8 to 5/8 inch adapter, which is just a simple adapter that you're going to use if you're switching between the pivot mount, which is another accessory, and the shock mount. So the shock mount, you're not going to use any adapter with it, and you'll just tighten it to the microphone arm stand itself. But if you're going to use the pivot mount, it has a larger screw hole, so you're going to need the adapter to tighten the pivot mount to the microphone arm stand. Finally, last but not least, is the pivot mount itself, which you're 100% going to use if you're using the desk stand, or if you want to use it with the microphone arm stand, then you can use it with that. The way that this works is that there is a separate ring to it that you will basically have the microphone slide in on one end, and then the metal ring will slide in on the other end and screw into it. So the pivot mount itself is made out of plastic, and there is a knob to adjust the angle of the microphone, but then you have the metal ring which will slide into the bottom of the microphone. Okay, so now that we've gone through all of those different accessories, let's talk about the actual microphone itself. So as you can see, it's a pretty sleek design. There's no buttons or sliders on it whatsoever. So you're not going to be getting a mute button, you're not going to be getting a gain adjustment or a headphone jack for monitoring the audio or playing back audio through your computer through this microphone. The only I/O that you're going to find is the USB port on the bottom of the microphone. So without those, you're going to have to make all of those adjustments in the software itself. So like on your Windows machine or your Mac, you'll adjust the gain and the sensitivity there. But honestly, it's not really that difficult. FiFine provides directions how to do that in the box. Next up is how it captures audio. So this is a unidirectional polar pattern microphone. So it captures audio that's, if this is the microphone here, then it's going to be capturing audio that's mostly from this area in front of it. So basically the 180 degrees in front of it. You'll still capture some audio from behind it and everything because sound travels and bounces back around the room. With this polar pattern though, you'll get the most clarity in that 180 degrees in front. So just something important to note is that if you really want the best audio, you want to be speaking directly into it and like from the front of it. Otherwise, some of your audio will get muffled, and I'll show you guys that as well. I've done this test before, like on the K683A, where it had the same polar pattern, and you can tell how as you move from the sides and the back to the front, the audio will get muffled or really dampened. All right, so let me just show you guys what that sounds like real quick. So right now, it got really hot in my room, so I took off my hoodie, but right now I'm speaking directly into the microphone, so it's pointed right at me, and I'm right centered in the middle of that cardioid polar pattern that you guys saw on the screen. So now let's move over to the left side. Okay, so now I'm on the left side. It should still be capturing my audio relatively well. I mean, I am speaking into a wall, so all this audio is basically bouncing into the microphone, but it might capture my audio a little bit more muffled. Okay, so now here's what it sounds like when I'm speaking into the back of the microphone. So it's likely more dampened and muffled from the back here, although you might capture some more clear-ish audio. Now let's test out the right side of the microphone. Okay, so now I'm speaking into the right side of the microphone. As you can probably tell, it sounds very similar to the left side of the microphone. There shouldn't be much of a difference, honestly. Okay, and now I am speaking directly dead into the middle of the microphone again, so here is where the audio should be captured the best. Also, the build quality of the microphone is pretty nice. It's made out of aluminum and everything is metal on there, so it feels pretty nice in the hand and it has a nice weight to it, and it is relatively lightweight, which is actually a good thing because that way when it's on your microphone arm, it's not gonna like droop down or anything because of the weight of the microphone. So that's just something I wanted to note. With that though, let's get into the audio tests, and there's gonna be a bunch of different things that we're gonna be testing. So I'll be testing two different categories. One is where it's on the desk and one is where it's on the microphone arm. And within that is a bunch of different tests that I wanna do. So one, for example, is just a complete audio test, just sound clarity. That's all I want to test. Then I want to do a typing test while talking. So let's say you're gaming or something, then that'll be like a good representation of what it might sound like. Then just a typing test. Let's say you're on Discord or on a call and you're typing. You want to see how audio might get captured through your microphone when you're just idling or typing, stuff like that. And then another is if you're moving stuff around on your desk, just like how each position handles vibrations like on your desk, so that you can see if you might get loud bangs while it's like on the desk stand versus if it's on the microphone arm. And we'll see which one performs the best. My bet is on the shock mount, but honestly I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Okay, so the first test that we're going to do is the desk mount versus microphone mount for sound quality. And I'm going to be doing an unedited test where it's just the pure audio from the microphone, completely unfiltered, and then the second one is where it might be filtered or I adjust the gain, and I'll tell you exactly what changes I make. Hey, what's up everyone? Okay, so now we are switching over to the sound tests. So the first test that I have up is the microphone on the desk versus the microphone arm for just pure audio. So I'm going to take a clip of audio of me saying something, and then I'm first going to do a pure unedited audio track so that you guys can hear what it sounds right out of the box. And then the second thing I'm going to do is doing some adjustments and applying maybe an effect just to see what sort of audio quality this microphone is capable of, because a lot of times I've noticed, especially with these FiFine microphones, is that you can really push these microphones to have really great audio. So let's do that right now. Hey, what's up everyone? It's your boy Rash Balash back with another video, and today we're testing out the FiFine T732, and this is the unedited audio. What's up everyone, it's your boy Rash Balash back with another video, and today we're testing out the FiFine T732, and this is the pure unedited audio. Hey, what's up everyone, it's your boy Rash Balash back with another video, and today we're testing the FiFine T732, and this is the edited audio. What's up everyone, it's your boy Rash Balash back with another video, and today we're testing out the FiFine T732, and this is the edited audio. Okay, so the next thing I want to test is typing and talking. So for example, when I'm playing games or something, there inevitably is going to be background noise from me typing and clicking on my mouse. And so let's just see what that sounds like when it's on your desk versus when it's on the microphone arm. Here I am, I'm typing and testing, or typing and clicking, just typing and clicking. So now we're going to test the typing and talking on the microphone arm stand so we can hear how that sounds. So I'm going to just type gaming, obviously. Okay, so right now I'm testing it out, and something important to note is that the microphone is right above my keyboard. I can move it around in any way that I want. I could put it next to my computer and have it capturing the audio from over my computer, so that way it won't really capture the audio from my keyboard while I'm typing. The next thing I want to do is just pure typing. So this will test out how much background noise this might pick up. So for example, if you are on a call online for a meeting or on Discord or something, and you're just idling, you're not really talking, but you have your microphone arm on, and you're just typing, this might see how much audio might be picked up. Something important to note though is that in a lot of these applications, there's sensitivity that is automatically determined based on the audio coming in, and you can also set like your own noise gates, for example in Discord. So in a lot of these cases you can adjust how much of this audio is actually getting picked up, but this is just to see like how much might be picked up in a recording and all those scenarios where you don't have like a noise suppression set up. Okay, so let me just do typing. Okay, so now let's test out the typing on the microphone arm stand. So the last thing that is really important to me and something that I'm self-aware of is when I'm recording something, when I'm live streaming or on a call with people, is putting stuff on my desk. For example, my water bottle or my phone. And in a lot of these cases, they can make loud sounds when I'm putting it on my desk, and it's through the vibrations that it travels into your microphone and it captures this deep bassy sound that is unpleasant to others to hear. So I just want to do like a sound test, see how it's captured versus the desk stand and the microphone arm stand. So for example, I'm going to put my water bottle down now. Okay, so that wasn't exactly next to my microphone, but maybe if I put it next to it. And then let's do my phone. Or if I'm moving my keyboard. And then let's also adjust my microphone. Maybe I need to move it. Okay, and then the last thing I want to test is banging and is putting stuff on my desk and my phone as well. And then also moving around the microphone with the shock mount. Now let's test out moving the microphone with the pivot mount. Okay, so let's move it around. So let me listen to all of these recordings and then I can tell you guys my final verdict. Alright everyone, it's time for the final verdict of what I personally think of the FiFine T732. So let's get right into it with first off the build quality. First off with the accessories across the board really great. The only thing that I ran into, the only issue that I ran into was on the pop filter clamp. The two rubber pieces that stick to the pole on the microphone arm stand did slide around a bit, so you could see some of that residue. I just fixed this by using the replacements that come with the microphone, and they have new 3M tape, and you just stick those on there and it works great, and I had no issues after that. For the microphone, I literally had no complaints. So yeah, overall I give the build a 10 out of 10. Next up is the audio quality. So first off, let's begin with the desk stand versus the microphone arm stand for just talking. You didn't notice too much of a difference except for the fact that the way I was using the microphone arm stand, it was right next to my mouth, while the desk stand had it about a foot away. Because of that, I sounded a little bit further away from the desk stand and a little bit closer with the microphone arm stand, but also sometimes if I talked really loudly, the level of the audio that was going into the microphone was so high that it sort of started to muffle out around the top. You can actually just adjust this by decreasing your gain, especially if you're going to have it in that position. I'd totally recommend doing that, and that's actually what FiFine recommended to me as well. With the desk stand, I didn't have to do that, but again, I did sound a little bit further away, so I do prefer the sound of the microphone arm stand nearer to my mouth. Next up, let's go to the typing and talking. As you could tell with the desk stand, it picked up so much of my typing and my clicking while also talking, and you know, it didn't go over my talking, but it was definitely a nuisance. With the microphone arm stand, it was still there, but it was definitely not to the same degree of the desk stand. So that's, you know, a win for the microphone arm stand, and also, I mean, generally performed really well for the microphone. You can also remove this by using some noise suppression if you're doing any sort of recording. So for those who are doing that, they know that you know, you can just remove that and it won't really become a problem. Next up, let's just go to the typing. This is still, you know, carrying over from the typing and talking. Again, the microphone arm stand, it wins out in this because it just does not capture that typing as well as the desk stand does. Then for the, you know, moving the microphone around and also putting stuff on the desk, it actually wasn't as big as an issue that I was expecting it to be. Maybe it's the other microphones that I used that perhaps picked up those vibrations a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure, but honestly, both performed relatively the same, except for the fact that when moving the microphone around, the desk stand gives you this very hollow sounding effect, and that's definitely going to get carried over to whoever's on a call with you or in your recordings. So moving it around with the microphone arm stand, you know, there was two different ways we had it set up. One was with the shock mount and one was with the pivot mount. The shock mount performed a little bit better than the pivot mount. It wasn't to like an extreme degree, but I think that the amount of vibrations that it removed just in general would give the shock mount a little bit of a bonus over that pivot mount. Then let's talk about the audio quality in general. So the unedited version of the audio, I give it like around a 7 or 8 out of 10 unedited. You know, it captures the audio very well. It captures a full range and it gives you a lot to play with if you're going to be changing around the audio. It's slightly dampened on the highs and the mids. However, there's a couple things. One, if you're going to be using this on calls, your audio is already getting compressed and everything, and no one's going to be able to tell a difference between this and a very expensive microphone. For example, I tested this microphone versus my $200 microphone, and no one was able to tell a difference between the two, and it's just because, you know, if you're using this for calls, it just doesn't make a difference. This microphone will perform just as well. But then if you do edit it, you can really do a lot with this microphone. You can really boost your highs and mids, and you can get a super clear sound from the microphone, and it'll be very crispy. You can also remove any background noise if you do that sort of editing. Just one thing that I would really recommend doing is slightly reducing the gain, just so, you know, the audio doesn't get blared out. You don't want that sort of muffling at the top where it's just starting to crackle and stuff like that. Unedited audio around an 8. Edited audio, I gotta give it to, it's like a 9.5 or 10. Now, there are a couple of things that I personally had wished had been on the microphone. One is a mute button and one is the adjustment for the gain. However, you can still do that in the software, so if you don't mind just doing that in the software, for example, if you're in a call, you can just mute yourself on the software instead of on the microphone, then that's really not going to be a big deal. Also, another thing is, if you're using this on the microphone arm stand and it's already mounted on your desk, and you're using the pop filter and the shock mount, it wouldn't be easy at all to actually mute with the button on the microphone. So I can actually understand why it's not on here. Just something that I wanted to mention because it was something that I personally very much liked on the FiFine K683A. Besides that though, here's where things get very interesting. So for everything that you're getting in this box, the microphone and all of those accessories, it is $60. $60 for all of that. And it's just kind of absurd, like how cheap it is for how good of everything that you're getting is. The accessories are all built really well, the microphone is built very well, the sound quality that you can get is very good, and you can improve it even further using some adjustments in your software. And overall, I think this is the sweet spot for microphones underneath $100 because of just all of these things that you're getting. So would I recommend this? 100% yes, if you are going for something around $60. There are always, times where you can just splurge out and get something super expensive, but I think that for someone who's, entering the market and looking for a microphone, someone who's trying to, begin streaming or gaming or just needs it for calls, someone who's trying to have a clean desk setup with a microphone stand with the wire that goes along with it, and trying to get it for around cheap price, then I think this is a great option as well. And honestly, I haven't seen a microphone in this price range that has such a good value for the cost. So how do I rate this microphone? How do I score it? I actually give it a 9.5 in the $60 range of microphones. Yeah. So it's pretty good. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this was super informative. I tried to put in as much detail as I could for all the builds and different audio that you would get. And I hope that it helped you decide whether or not this was the right choice for you. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everyone.
This is the best day of my life. I met Rush Blast, a really famous YouTuber.